What's up everybody, today I'm going to be talking about sports climbing harnesses, mainly going through some features I like, as well as giving a quick review of two harnesses that I own, namely the Petzl Sama and the Edelrid Orion harness. So on the far left, this is my old Petzl Corex harness. It's quite old, and actually it's still working, but I had to replace it because the gear loops all fell off. First thing I want to talk about is features that I like in sports harnesses. The Petzl Corex actually has this double buckle feature, at the front. Meaning when you tighten your waist belt, you actually have two harnesses to tighten. I really like this, because it gives a lot more adjustability. Especially if your sizing fits weird, double buckle actually allows a better fit. The other big advantage that a double buckle gives is that after you tighten, your belay loop is always centered, so that when you belay, this thing is always in the center, which I think is good to have, compared to let's say my Sama. For example, if you are quite a big size guy, and you have to around this size, when you center it, or something like that, when your gear loops are at your side, you can actually see that your belay loop is actually off to the side. And if you center your belay loop, you can see that your gear loops are not at your sides, they are off center. So that's one of the advantages of having a double buckle for your waist belt. Unfortunately, there isn't many manufacturers there aren't many models of harnesses that have this feature. The other one that I found was, I think, the Black Diamond Momentum DS, but I haven't had a chance to try that yet. Another thing that I learned while having this harness is gear loops. This old Petzl Corex actually uses full plastic gear loops. You can see here the gear loops are purely made of plastic and nothing else. It's also helped to the harness itself with plastics. The problem with this is that polymers always degrade over time. Even if you take good care of them, the plasticizers tend to dry out and the polymer tends to fall apart, which is what happened to actually 3 of my gear loops. This harness used to have 4 gear loops. Now there's only 1 left, and actually you can see clearly, look carefully here, it's actually already coming out. So not a good idea to have plastic gear loop, which is what I learned. So nowadays, I try to look for gear loops that are fixed to the harness using fabric. But that presents another problem, which I will talk about later. When I look at the Sama harness, well, we can see I'll try to jerry rig some gear loops of my own, using some plastic tubes. So that's my old harnesses. I also didn't like, another reason why I had to change this, because if you look at the leg loops, this part here, this is extremely thin. When I wear them, this cuts into my inner thigh, and it hurts like hell. So especially if I'm hanging for a long time, this is extremely uncomfortable, which is another reason why I had to change my harness. But actually I really like this harness because of the double buckle, and also because actually if you look at the waist belt, let me see if I can get a better, it's all over the place. If you look at the waist belt, the thing is, I think a lot of people have the misconception that in order to get a comfortable harness, you need really thick and big harnesses around the waist belt. But actually, if you look at this, what the Corex has is that it has this 2 belt system. One goes above and one goes below. This really helps with the weight distribution. And this is a fairly rigid harness. It's fairly rigid actually. What this does is it helps to spread the weight across your back, and makes it a lot more comfortable. So I really like the waist belt on this. Unfortunately, the leg loops are crap. I couldn't use them. But that's me. okay, maybe you have better successes with the Petzl corrects, but okay, because of this, okay, I had to change this. Okay, so just let me get this out of the way. Okay, now let us look at my Petzl Sama. Okay, this is the 2013 model. Okay, it's bright red in color. I really like Petzl, so I thought I'd just give Petzl another go. So this harness is pretty okay. It's pretty light. It's pretty cushy. Okay, but I ran into some problems with it. But let me just slowly go through. Okay, so because of my previous corrects, I actually made sure I got a harness with the gear loops is attached by fabric. Okay, but what I realized was that if you lead climb a lot, you know that the anchor side of your quick draws, they tend to be scratches, because of the anchor cutting into them. And normally you would place the anchor side onto your gear loops. So the anchor side of the quick draw will be hanging over your gear loop. And this actually starts to cut your gear loop because it's held together by fabric. The plastic is actually inside. So the thing is, you're actually cutting the structure of the gear loop. Meaning if the quick draw cuts through the fabric gear loop, this thing is going to fall apart. So what I have done is I sort of made this temporary or do-it-yourself protection for my gear loops. Basically they're just plastic tubes, held together by cable tie. Actually, if you look at black diamond harnesses, this is already done for you. If you buy a black diamond harness, the gear loop is actually held to the harness by fabric, which will let it last a longer time. While they also put a plastic protector on the gear loop itself, which helps to protect it. So if you are going to buy a harness with fabric gear loops, I would recommend you get these like clear plastic PVC. The clear PVC tubings. You can cut them down the center. You probably could find better ways to do this, other than cable ties. But I didn't want to seal this off, because I'm not very satisfied. So I may do further modifications to them. Next thing that I learned about harnesses while using this is that typically some manufacturers would have overlapping sizes, meaning, or rather, if you have overlapping size like my case, I can actually fit a small or a medium Petzl Sama. I actually went for the medium. Reason being, the same reason. If I wear a medium, I actually need to tighten the waist belt fully. And this allows my belay loop to be centered while I'm belaying. So when I'm wearing, I've tightened it fully. The belay loop is centered. But if I bought a small, I would have had to open this thing up more. And either my gear loops or my belay loop will be off center. So I got the medium instead. Now, so what I learned from this harness is that cushioning is not important if you want a comfortable harness. This actually hurts like hell when I'm lead belaying. The reason being, if you look carefully at how the weight is being distributed across this harness. So the structure, you see the belt actually runs through the side. So this is where the weight is. So when you're belaying, the weight actually runs through this belt across the sides. So this is where the weight is being distributed. And because this is very cushy and it isn't very well designed, the weight actually cuts into just this small area if you are lead belaying. So this part actually cuts into my waist, which is extremely comfortable. It's not as painful if you are climbing as you're lead belaying, because apparently they have this new funky design that there's an extra belt that runs through a bottom of this part. There's actually another extra small belt here. But the problem is that it doesn't work while you're lead belaying. Because when you're lead belaying, the rope actually runs instead of upwards, it runs forwards. Because you're lead belaying, so all the weight goes into this small area, and instead of being distributed okay, across the whole width of the waist belt. Okay, so it makes it very uncomfortable. Okay, but other than that, that's about it for this harness. Okay, it doesn't have adjustable straps. Okay, the leg loops are reasonably comfortable. Okay, so these are okay. Okay, but not the best. Okay, so I was looking around for a better harness, okay, that could distribute the weight more evenly, which is where I found my Edelrid Orion. Okay, I think Edelrid Orion is Edelrid really makes this very funky design work very well. Okay, what happens is that, okay, if you look at, okay, the waist belt, okay, what actually they do is, okay, so this is the middle strap. Okay, and when it reaches this point, okay, okay, it actually splits into 5, okay, separate straps, okay, that, okay, distributes the weight, the weight all across, okay, the entire width, okay, of the waist belt, and this makes it extremely comfortable. Okay, your weight is perfectly distributed across the whole width of this harness. Okay, I really love this design. Okay, this splitting of the belt into 5 separate pieces that runs across, okay, the sides. Okay, unfortunately the gear loops, okay, are also fabric, so I have to rig up the clear PVC thing again. Okay, other things that are not very, I don't really like is that there's, okay, this thing here that you're supposed to be able to hang stuff, equipment off is not very big. Okay, and the gear loop at the back is really small. Okay, so I had to fit a biner through it, okay, in order to hang stuff. Okay, this rear gear loop is really small. Okay, that's one issue with this harness. Okay, another one at the side here. Okay, okay, another issue with this harness is that the top tie-in loop is really small. Okay, so if you're not doing, even if you're just doing sports climbing and you are doing like topping out drills where you have daisy chain, if you have daisy chain, you have your tie-in rope. Okay, this is really a tight fit here. Okay, with a daisy chain and then your tie-in rope. Okay, so this part is really small. Okay, which is not very ideal. Okay, I wish this part was bigger. Okay, but a minor annoyance. Okay, the nice thing about the tie-in at the bottom is that it's reinforced with a piece of plastic. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, this is reinforced with a piece of plastic and not just fabric. Okay, which in theory should help with durability. The belay loop is really thin. Okay, but okay, I suppose it should still be safe. Okay, good luck to my climber when I'm belaying. Okay, the same design also goes to the leg loops. Okay, the leg loops also has this design where, okay, the belt actually splits into 5, okay, and distributes your weight, okay, across your whole leg. Okay, this also makes it extremely comfortable. Okay, if you look at the angle here, you can actually see the ventilation loops. Ventilation holes. So this is how the harness keeps you cool. Okay, there are these ventilation holes. Okay, and if you actually look at the insides, there's actually very little padding. Okay, there is actually very little padding on the insides of, okay, this harness. Okay, but how it achieves this level of comfort is really through this really great design. Okay, which I hope, okay, other harnesses will have. Other things, okay, I do not like, okay, is, okay, the gear loops, although they look normal, actually I find this a little bit short. Okay, if it could just be a little bit longer, okay, it would really help with clipping in drawers and other equipment. Okay, so minor annoyance. Okay, unfortunately Edelrid, okay, is only, okay, I had to get this from the United Kingdom. Okay, because I couldn't find any US distributors, okay, or distributors in my own country. So I had to import this from UK, which made it really expensive. I'm not sure if I could recommend this to everyone, but if you're really looking for a very well engineered piece of harness, okay, this is really nice. Okay, okay, another minor annoyance is that the rise on the leg loops is really short. So guys with big balls might find it uncomfortable. So yeah, that's the Edelrid Orion. They make other harnesses as well. Maybe you can check them out. But the Orion is the current harness that I'm using. I really like the comfort on this. So that's all. Thank you.